Hello, everybody. Joe Bagduns here, and welcome back to another episode of Umineko. Last time, the game has officially started, and we were introduced to a new character who just decided to, show up. Just appeared. I guess Beatrice has another one of her minions running around. Seems like an alright guy. Fairly professional. I like him, but probably won't stay in our best graces for long. But I won't bore you with any super long preambles today. Other than the fact that I almost forgot to record this episode because I was looking at it and I'm like, I already recorded today. I don't need to fucking do anything. And not remembering that now that I'm on night shift, one day just bleeds into the other. So while yes, I did record technically today, it was like 20 something hours ago and I still needed to crank this out. So I got my nice hot cup of coffee, but because I'm a boozy bitch, I also got a nice old-fashioned with me today. Only one. I'm not gonna kill myself like the last time. I think it was during my Total Eclipse read-through. I made an entire thermos full of White Russian and proceeded to get fucking sloshed, like, out of my gourd. It was bad. Like, I stopped. Like, I didn't even listen back to that recording. I felt like I stopped and I was still like relatively like coherent. But then, I had just drunk probably like half a thermos of straight vodka. And, another quarter of that was Kahlua. And, it wasn't a pretty sight the rest of that night. So limited myself to just the one. It's a little more red than they're supposed to be, but that's because my class 6 didn't have any bitters, so I have to use Campari, which is at least I think that's how you pronounce it. A very, very red, kind of syrupy liqueur. And I really love macchiato cherries, so I pour a little bit of the liquid in from the jar when I make it. I have a nice soft spot for macchiato cherries because my mom was a waitress at a restaurant that had a bar, and when I was real young and couldn't be left home alone when both my parents were working, I had to get taken in and to go sit at the bar, when my mom did her thing, and the bartender would just, like, make me Shirley Temples and give me sodas and stuff. And I would always eat, like, all the macchiato cherries and orange slices. So, when I'm getting a little shit face here, makes me think of the good old days, when nothing mattered and it was all good. Anyway, you don't want to hear about me reminisce about my childhood. Let us continue reading the story and see how all these other people's childhoods are all horrible and how it leads them to make bad decisions and how they're all going to die. Even without off to a fantastic start, without even being able, let me take a fucking sip. Maybe that'll clear up my brain. Ooh, I put a lot of fucking whiskey in that one. Without even being allowed to wait for dessert, we were chased out of the room. There we go. But it would help if I clicked on the right screen so I could actually advance the text. I heard that, in the end, our parents were unable to get grandfather to respond. Well, I'm not sure I should be saying this, but I feel like grandfather deserves a pat on the back. He had to be feeling pretty satisfied with the shock his strange letter had given to his children, who had all been so infatuated with distributing the inheritance while he was still alive. I too felt like our despicable parents had gotten what they deserved in all this confusion. But I couldn't really say I was feeling great. I felt all sulky. Grandfather hadn't entertained them for even a moment, but he also apparently hadn't denied anything about the letter. Grandfather's name pops up several times in the witch's letter. If Grandfather knew that someone was stealing his name, and considering his character, he would probably be mad with rage. But even though Grandfather now knew the contents of the letter, he had coolly ignored it. In this case, did that count as a silent yes? Auntie Ava and Dad had been trying to interpret the letter in their favor, their greed clearly visible. Ooh, I can fucking smell the whiskey stuck in my mustache. Normally I put a lot of ice in them, but I only put like 2 ice cubes in it, so it is like 2.5 shots of whiskey. It wouldn't have mattered so much if that was all, but the adults had started focusing on Maria, who had received the letter. They kept pounding her with questions about who had given her that letter. Maria repeated over and over again that she had gotten it from Beatrice, but there was no way a mysterious person like that could be mixed in with the others on this island. After all, this is a small island where no one lives except the Ushirmiya family. Maria kept repeating that she had gotten it from Beatrice, no matter how many times she was asked. It seemed that the adults felt that she was trying to trick them, so they didn't hold back and questioned her until she broke out in tears. By the time Maria was released, she had cried herself to the point of exhaustion. Her parents ordered us to go to the guest house and take Maria with us. Then they shut themselves up in the dining hall and started getting louder and louder as they discussed the inheritance. It seemed that, because of that strange letter, the possibility had arisen that Uncle Krause's ability to become the next head could be returned to a blank slate. And in exchange for accepting him, my dad and the rest were trying to swindle Uncle Krause out of a lot of money, or something like that. Jessica and I, both astonished, were happy to move out over to the guest house. We didn't want to be under the same roof as those filthy adults, their heads so filled with thoughts about money. How bourgeois of them. George Anarchy pleaded on behalf of our parents, saying that he wanted us to understand them. I understood his reasoning. No matter how filthy this talk of money was, it wouldn't go away if you just closed your eyes to it. But even so, how could they so blatantly degenerate into such money-grubbing demons? Maybe humans were the real monsters all along. I'm only a little way through that drink, and it's going to leave me feeling nice and warm afterwards, I can already tell. Probably doesn't help that I haven't really eaten anything today, so just fucking straight liquor to the gut. Maria had cried herself dry and was hiding in her bed. She hadn't even twitched for a while, so she was probably sleeping.
Maria-chanは一体誰にあの手紙をもらったんだろうね。
That was Beatrice.
ジョージ兄さん、それはもう聞いちゃダメだぜ。マリアがベアトリーチェにもらったって言うなら、それでいいじゃねえかよ。
これ以上、マリアを泣かせたくないしな。
That said, even we felt a confusion that we couldn't clear away.
この島には今、18人しかいないんだよ。
We're going back to this one, huh?
そこにこの
No
雨の中、
confirmed
未知
19th
の
person.
19人目がマリアちゃんに手紙を託して、今もどこかに隠れているというのは、正直現実的ではないね。
おそらく、あの肖像画のドレスをシャノンあたりにでも着てもらって、うまくマリアと口裏を合わせたってことじゃねえのかな。
Nah, I don't think that's it. I would recognize those fucking tits anywhere.
もっともマリアの場合、あのドレスを見たらそれだけでベアトリーチェだと信じちまいそうだけどな。
誰が渡したかなんて、どうでもいい問題かもしれないな。大事なのは差出人だろう。要は、じい様が黄金の魔女の名を語って、
Unless, you
人波
know,
乱を起こした
the
かったっ
middleman
てこ
is
となん
the
だ
same as
ぜ。
the sender, in which case there is no middleman.
まったく、人騒がせなじじいだぜ。
The truth was probably that our occult-loving grandfather was playing around by choosing a dramatic way of handing the letter over to Maria, who shared the same hobby as he did. Paying no heed, though, to the trouble it would cause Maria or the rest of us.
たく、マリアの純真な心をもてあそびやがって。手紙を渡したのが誰でもいいさ。マリアがベアトリーチェにもらったって言うんだから、
Okay,
そういうことにしてやろうぜ。同感だよ。
acceptable middle ground.
そうしよう。子供にとってのサンタクロースみたいな存在が、マリアちゃんにとってはベアトリーチェなんだろうね。いない19人目も、サンタクロースも。
So Beatrice just, like, hangs around at American malls and smells strangely like faint cigarette smoke?
俺たちが認めてやれば、それは少なくとも、マリアの中ではいるということになるわけだ。
I kid, mall Santas are actually, like, fairly professional and they need to go to, like, an accredited course in order to become a certified mall Santa. It's an actual thing. They would never show up smelling like smoke.
なるほど。子供の夢を守るための嘘って大事だな。お、どうしたんだよ、ジェシカ。まだ腹を立ててるのかよ。
He's still sulking, being an emotional teenager. Just got her hands on her chin, as though there was something she just couldn't understand. When I called out to her, she came to her senses.
ああ、ごめん。
I hate how I can't say understand, like, properly anymore. Like, I really emphasize the and part because I say it a lot jokingly as like, I cannot understand. And now it just bleeds into my regular like lexicon and speech like normally. So I try to fight it, but I just can't.
いやさ、マリアが会ったのは本当にベアトリーチェだったってことがあるんじゃないかな。
そりゃどういう意味だよ。この島に19人目の人間がいるって言いたいのか。
Mayhaps.
マリアちゃんの言うことを心から信じたなら、そういう答えに行き着くだろうね。
いや、そういうのじゃなくて、昔からこの島には私たちの知らない誰かが住んでるんじゃないかって話はあったんだよな。
Okay, you're talking about a, you know, someone claiming to be Beatrice, not the Beatrice.
住んでるってどこに？
I don't know, like fucking in the caverns under the island like a murloc.
森の中にさ。
It's a small island. Living off fucking wild grasses and fish, I guess. Fucking Gollum out there. The adults were gathered in the dining hall, spending a very long time continuing the discussion that had been started by Beatrice's letter. Kraus strongly claimed that the letter was a simple prank, but he couldn't overturn the claim that Kinzo's failure to deny the letter was answer enough. Judging by Kinzo's character, if he knew that a letter had been written by someone else in his name, he would be mad with rage. Since all the siblings knew that, Kraus had no choice but to withdraw his claim. Without even having to summarize it, the contents of the letter were simple. The person who solved the witch's epitaph would receive the leadership and assets. This did a lot of damage to Kraus, who was thought to have been guaranteed the succession, and for everyone else, who had given up on that long ago, it was better news than they could have ever hoped for. However, there were some points that worried them. The person who solved the epitaph was not limited to a member of the Ushirmiya family. Taken literally, anyone, no matter how doubtful their origin, could succeed the Ushirmiya family. And furthermore, this meant there was a chance that all of the Ushirmiya family's assets could be stolen by some unknown person. In that sense, it was definitely not a situation where anyone could lower their guard, even the siblings other than Kraus. Had this letter come from a saboteur sent by Kinzo who called themselves Beatrice? Or was this the scheme of some unknown person trying to steal the Ushirmiya family's wealth? They still didn't know the truth. But they could say one thing for certain. Maria had received this problematic letter today on this island. In other words, someone who was planning something related to that letter was on this island today. Was this person who set it up Kinzo, one of the four siblings, or maybe some unknown person? No matter how much they suspected each other, they couldn't reach a conclusion. After getting tired of bickering with each other, they finally reached the extremely obvious conclusion that doubting each other was just a waste of time.
We seem
to have reached an impasse.
手紙の差出人がお父様と確定したわけではありませんよ。会話の成り立たないあなたに主人が呆れ果てただけです。
会話が成り立たないのはどっちよ。私が何か言うたびにあなたは怒鳴ってばかり。
You're a very what's a nice way to say this? You have a lot of personality. I can see how it might, rub someone the wrong way.
予算かエヴァ夏井さんも一度終わった話やで
一度ここで頭を冷やさない？冷たいものでも持ってきてもらいましょうよ。
Yes, please.
そうね。頭を冷やした方が賢明そう。 あなたもそろそろ一服したくなってきたんじゃない？
姉貴の機嫌が悪そうだからね。一服の方は遠慮するぜ。だが冷た
What,
い
you,
方は
you need to stay here to fucking mediate?
ローザ、誰かに水を持ってこさせてくれ。水差しごとね。
My thirst is great. Rosa headed over to the extension telephone in the corner of the room and called the servant room. Then she passed on what Rudolph had told her to the person on the other end. Well, the phone lines aren't dead just yet. The vicious bickering up until now had vanished like it had never happened. The silence continued until Goda finished setting the table and retreating from the room.
他に何かご入り用のものはございますでしょうか？
ありません。もう下がりなさい。
はい、それでは失礼いたします。何かございましたら
So curt.
いつでもお呼びください。
After listening to the sounds of Goda's footsteps disappear off into the distance, everyone took a deep breath at the same time to break the tension.
本当にすごい雨ね。19人目の魔女は
Nice segue.
今頃バラ庭園の東屋で雨宿りでもしているのかしら。
どうかしらね。雨はしのげるかもしれないけど、少し肩を冷やしそうね。
Yeah, I guess. You know, early October, but you know, you're on the coast, on a little island.
謎の19人目の来訪者か。ちょいと推理小説っぽくて面白い話やな。普通この手の話は18人の中の誰かが語ってるだけで、実際
私は
Didn't mean to cut you
現
off.
地
Your
たちが怪
cadence
し
is
いと
really
睨
slow.
んでいます。
Thought you were done.
やはりどんな難癖をつけてでも片翼のわしの使用人たちは全て解雇した方が
You're
良か
just
った
saying
ん
that
で
because
す。
you think they're fucking Kinzo spies.
まあそういうの。長く勤めてくれた恩もある。もちろん。
Also, they might take you to court for, like, unjustified termination.
兄さ
Depending on
ん
how their
も
contract
お
is.
父様の仕業かどうかはともかく、あの手紙をマリアちゃんに渡したのは使用人の誰かだろうという点では同意するのね。
何しろ私たちは夕食までずっと仲良く団らんをしていたじゃないか。
Yep.
兄弟全員にアリバイがある。マリアに手紙を渡せたのは使用人の誰かだけだ。
In theory.
でも使用人の人たちもみんなベッドメイクとかで忙しくて、バラ庭園のマリアのところへ行く余裕なんかな
Yeah,
かったって
but, you know, is there anyone that can verify that?
おいおい。じゃあ
Also,
何
there's
だ
a
ってんだ
chance they
よ。
could be in league with each other, so, you know, they would cover.
まさか森の魔女ベアトリーチェ様がお越しになって本当にマリアちゃんに手紙を渡したって言い出すのか？
Get you, sounds like it's got you a little spooked there, Rudolph.
ローザ、昔は信じててすごい怖がってたものね。
Hey man, the forest is scary at night.
あんたまさかいい年して
Like, my
まだ信
grandparents
じ
live
てる
in
の？
bumfuck nowhere in the woods. And it's like, it wasn't uncommon for me to, like, hear owls out, or, like, some animal, usually like a deer or something, just, like, creeping around in the bush outside their windows when I was trying to sleep as a kid.
森の魔女。
If she did exist, I'd love for her to appear. But no matter how much I wished, she didn't appear before me even once. She didn't save me from my crisis.
まさか。
Damn, you couldn't even run Crisis on your PC.
でも18人全員が
The
自
witch
分
wouldn't show
は
up
違
and
う
give
と
you
言
a
ってい
good
る以上、
GPU and graphics
本
card.
当に19人目がいるのかもって思っただけなの。
そんなんあらへんで。第一、船で来たのはわしらだけや。
Maybe someone who got here before you.
謎の乗船者なんぞ、わしら
Lying
は
in wait,
姿も見
ready
と
to
らん。
strike in a moment's notice.
まさかこの荒海を泳いで渡ってきたっちゅうんか？ちょいと考えられへんな。
Yeah, Beatrice doesn't seem like much of a swimmer.
理屈ではそうね。
She does have some good flotation devices.
この隔絶された島に招かれていない客が一人隠れているというのは常識的に考えがたいんだけれど。 でもどうもその可能性を捨てきれない人たちがいるみたいね。
Who you side-eyeing? Hideyoshi had laughed it off, saying that there couldn't be a 19th person. But Kyrie had sensitively picked up on the delicate atmosphere among the four siblings. Just by common sense, it couldn't possibly be any uninvited guests on this small, isolated island. How on earth could they get here, and from where, and where would they be hiding themselves? Why wouldn't they appear openly, even though they had sent the letter in their own name? None of these could be explained. But considering that none of the four siblings had joined in on Hideyoshi's laughing, they seemed unable to completely deny in their hearts the possibility of a 19th person.
キリエさん、誤解しないでいただきたいが、別に私たちはおとぎ話じみた魔女伝説など。
またお父様を侮辱する話ですか？それを口にすること自体がお父様への裏切りです。
Mm-hmm. Don't be dissing his like fucking e-girlfriend or whatever Beatrice is.
まあね。でもあのお父様ですもの。あるいは本当にねえ。
私は何も知らない。
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you mean there, Ava?
なんやなんや。何を見学になっとるんや。どういうことや。つまり、
Yeah, you
魔
got
女
some
伝
hot
説
goss
は
to talk
笑い
about?
話でもなんでもなく事実だっちゅうんか。そんなアホな。
もちろん、ほうきにまたがって空を飛ぶ魔女なんて誰も信じちゃいないさ。
But
あの肖像画の女、ベアトリーチェは本当にこの島に存在したかもしれない。
have, past tense, existed.
秀吉さん、魔女とかの話じゃなくてもっとシンプルな話みたいよ。つまりこういうことね。
Yeah, old man's side piece.
ベアトリーチェという名の愛人をお父さんがこの島のどこかに隠れ住まわせていたのではないかと、そういうことかしら。
Yes.
お父様は自己を厳しく律する模範的
I
な
mean,
方
good
です。
place to hide her, you know, darkest places like under the candlestick and all that.
そのような汚らわしい存在を島に連れ込むなど到底考えられません。
Not that he snapped at her immediately, but it looked like the four siblings, including her husband Kraus, didn't think that way. On the contrary, it appeared that they thought Kinzo was exactly the kind of person likely to attempt such a stunt. The existence of a mistress who had Kinzo under her spell had been whispered of since the very beginning when he had built this mansion on this island.
親父を尊敬してる夏日さんには悪いが、だいぶ昔からそういう噂はあったんだ。
Yeah, they've known him a lot longer than you have.
親父は自分一人でこの六軒島の設備すべてを作り上げた。屋敷の中には親父しかわからない仕掛けや隠し部屋なんかがあるんじゃないかって初めから疑われてたし、俺たちの知らない秘
Oh
密の屋
god.
敷が
That's creepy to
こ
think
の島
about.
のどこかに隠されてるんじゃないかとも。
Fucking someone living in your house that you never knew about.
そうね。地図上は小さな島かもしれないけれど、
You know, you see those stories occasionally, like
後ろ宮家だ
on
けが
news
住むに
websites, where
は
it's like
広大
a
すぎ
person
る島
finds
だ。
a homeless man living in their ceiling for fucking 5 years that only comes out at night and like steals a slice of bread or whatever.
そして未開の森のどこかに愛人を住まわせるための隠し屋敷を作ったかもしれないと、そう思われてたのね。ずいぶんスケールの大きな話ね。
最初はそれはこの屋敷の中じゃないかと言われてた。秘密の地下とかがあったりして、そこに豪華な隠し部屋があり、あの肖像画の魔女が
Just living the
隠れ住んでるんじゃないかと。
oh god, fucking bit my tongue. You know, I haven't been drinking. Hikikomori lifestyle.
親父の主催の凝ったオートロックの仕掛けとかを見てると、それも何しろ莫大な黄金
Yeah,
を
fairly
どこか
fairly
秘
easy
密の
to,
場
you
所
know,
に
one leads into
秘
two.
密の仕掛けで隠したと吹聴する親父殿だ。この屋敷とてまだ我々の知らぬ隠し部屋があったとしても驚くには足りんて。
お母様は存命中。よくお父様の不在をついて屋敷内をしらみつぶし
Yeah,
に
we don't
探
really know
し
too much
回って
about
た
your
わね。
you know, your ma.
ルドルフが言ったことをお母様も疑ってたのよ。どこかに秘密の扉や階段があって、その中に金髪の愛人が隠れていると信じていたわ。
It's hard to believe. There's some actual examples in other countries of people cheating with someone over a period of several decades by making them live in a hidden attic room. This was Kinzo, with a mansion that's extravagant. There was endless possibilities to suspect the existence of hidden rooms.
六軒島の魔女伝説って、私の聞いてた話では、子供たちが未開の森に入り込まないようにって言って作った怖がらせるためのおとぎ話だったんだけど、なんだかそれだけじゃないって気がしてきた
I
わ。
mean, it's not like the forest on this island is too dangerous, you know. Remote islands like this don't really have any wildlife. You know, at most, you'd just be at risk of, like tripping up over on a rock or, like, a root and just fucking cracking your head.
まあな。
But even in that case, you know, just gotta fucking hold tight and wait for someone to come searching for you.
何しろ後ろ宮の屋敷以外に何もない寂しい島だからな。俺やローザがガキの頃は、そりゃ雷雨の夜に森から聞こえてくる木々のざわめきに怯えたもんさ。その木々の間から不気味な何かが様子を伺ってるんじゃないかなんて妄想。ガキだったら誰でも考える自然なものさ。だが俺やローザがそう訴えるのを聞いて、ガキの妄想だろでは済まさない連中もいたってことなんだ。
Who is some people?
そうだろ、姉貴。
私や兄さんはこの島に隠れ住んでいる愛人が
Okay.
人目を忍んで出歩いて
You
い
know,
たの。
the older siblings, you know, were able to see
あ
things, you
なたた
know,
ちが目撃したのではないかと考えていたわ。
quote unquote, a little more clearly. You know, from their perspective at least. And to think about it more logically.
もちろんお母様もね。
古い使用人たちの中にも深夜の屋敷内に肖像画の魔女が徘徊しているというような階
Yeah,
段が語ら
going
れて
to
いた。
fucking raid the fridge and just eat pepperonis out of the packet before putting them back.
私はそれを表向き階段として笑い捨てていたが、内心は秘密の愛人の存在を十分に疑っていたよ。
となると、この島に19人目の何者かがいるかもしれないってのは全くバカバカしい話でもないっちゅうことなんだ。
I mean, you can't 100% deny it.
いや、むしろどこかにいるかもしれない
You
わけか。
know, demon's proof and all that.
よ
Did you say
くルドルフさんの言う
Proof. Yeah, there we go.
悪魔の証明というやつになったわね。19人目がいることは証明可能だけれど、19人目が
Good thing my
存在
glass
し
is
な
almost
いこ
finished.
と
I
は
was about to
証
start
明
like,
不
oh,
能。
let's do a drinking game every time they bring up fucking demon's proof or chessboard thinking.
私
I
たち
keep
は
saying proof.
ベアトリーチャという名の人物が島のどこかに潜んでいることを前提に議論を進めるべきなの？
危機管理の基本としては正しいな。いるわけがないと思うよりは、いるかもしれないと
Yeah,
用心する
start with the worst case
ある
scenario.
かにマシだろうよ。
そうやな。
So that way you don't get caught off guard by anything.
すまん。ちょいと不用心が過ぎたわ。
Now you're being like fairly reasonable,
Rosa-san.
but you know,
さっきは笑ってすまんかったな。
there's a lot of unreasonable things going on here.
別に気にしてないです。
Hideyoshi apologized deeply for not being conscious enough of the danger, despite calling himself the president of a company. Silence fell again. By preparing for the existence of a 19th person, they were accepting that some unknown person was hidden on this island. And since this person might have something bad planned for them, it was only natural that it came with a certain degree of discomfort.
親父殿はかつて不意に所在を知らせずに姿を消すことがあった。何しろ静寂を好むお人だからな。わざと所在を知らせずどこかの書庫に閉じこもっているなどということは別に不思議なことではなかったよ。しかし魔女伝説が愛人説にすり替わり、やがてそれはこっそり愛人のもとへ通っているのではないかと囁かれるようになった。
Nah, he just fucking hated his family and wanted to be alone.
末期のお袋は疑心暗鬼の塊だったからな。突然大騒ぎして使用人たちに緊急事態だから今すぐ親父を探せなんて騒ぎ始めることがあったっけ？
あったわね。晩年のお母様はそんなことばかりだったから、未だにその怖い雰囲気が拭えないわ。今だから言える。かわいそうな人だったわ。
Yeah, you know, not the best, you know, marriage life.
それでその大々的な家探しの結果どうだったんや？何か見つかったか？
Nope.
いいえ。
What, you think the servants would actually rat,
隠
even if
し
they
部
did
屋
find
はおろ
anything?
か、一度たりともお父様が発見されたことはないわ。そしていつも、それからだいぶ時間が経ってからひょっこりと
Well, that's weird
ど
that
こ
they
からか
couldn't even
姿を
find
現
him.
すの。どこかの書庫で昼寝していたとか、風に誘われて浜辺を散歩していたとかなんとか言ってね。でもそれらの場所はいずれも使用人たちが必ず探している場所。
Obviously.
お父様がどこに行っていたのかはいつもわからなかった。当時からお父様はオカルトに傾倒していることが有名だったから、一部の使用人たちは蝶にでも化けてバラ庭園を待っていたのだろうなんて嘘ぶいていたっけ。
what a crazy theory.
つまりお父さんは誰も知らないどこかへ姿を消すことが頻繁にあった
And
の
even
ね。
people intimately familiar with the mansion couldn't find him.
ああ、どんなに屋敷中を探しても見つからないんだから、親父は屋敷の外へ行っているのだろうという見解になった。だが屋敷の外ったってそれほど大した場所はない。
Yeah, it's just the woods.
となると残るのは
I mean, as far as we know.
広大な森だ。それで森の魔女伝説と融合し
Oh,
てできた
and the
仮説は
chapel,
こう
if you include that as a part of the mansion.
親父は実は森のどこかに隠し屋敷を作っていて、そこにベアトリーチェという名の愛人を住まわせていて、時折通っているんじゃないかってわけだ。
私も当時は若くてね、親父殿の浮気の現場を抑えてやろうと意気込み、表へ出る親父の後をつけようとしたことがある。
Yeah, and how that turned out for you.
もちろん失敗したよ。親父は表へ出るとき異様に人目を嫌い、誰かに見られてないか警戒していた。それこそ異常なくらいだね。だから逆に確信したよ。家人に知られてはならぬ理由で出かけているに違いないとね。
そら愛人のところへ出かけるんや。人目も忍ぶやろな。
After seeing Hideyoshi nod and say yes, yes, as though it's quite obvious, Ava got a little sullen.
まあとにかく西洋かぶれのお父様が自分の夢をまるでスケッチブックに描くみたいに実現したのがこの島なのよ。すべてがお父様の思い通
I
り
mean,
の
we already know about
島。
his, like, dream chapel where he would have his grand wedding with Beatrice.
愛人を住まわせる隠し屋敷があっても何の不思議もない。
Ava's words spoke for what all the siblings had come to think. For a while, the room returned to silence again, and everybody listened to the sound of wind and rain. Was there a hidden mansion on this island? And had Kinzo's mistress been living there and hiding for a long, long time? Every one of them had thought that they were being too suspicious, and had refrained from saying it for the longest time, but it had become a common opinion that everyone shared. Kyrie, who had been listening the whole time, had her eyes closed, spoke to no one in particular.
そのお父様の愛人の噂はいつ頃から？
I don't know, probably since the beginning.
この島に引っ越してきた当初からだから、あれこれ30年くらい前だな。何しろ隠し屋敷の工事なんて、俺たちが島に来ちまったら無理だろう。
It'd have to have been done beforehand.
人とか機材の出入り
A
が
lot of prep.
すぐにバレちまうさ。だから可能だとしたら、俺たちが引っ越してくる以前、多分俺たちがまだ小田原に住んでいた頃にこの屋敷の工事と一緒に済ましていたんだろうよ。
お父様は 家族生活と愛人との生活の2つを両立させようと最初から想定していたと考えるのが妥当なんでしょうね。
Not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
多分愛人との関係は小田原時代にまで遡るでしょうし。
だろう。親父殿が言うように。
Damn, fucking no one backing him up. Just entire family throwing him right under the bus.
彼女によってもたらされたとするなら、小田原時代にはもう信仰があったと見るべきだろう。莫大な黄金を貸し付けられるだけの信頼関係だ。どれほどの古い縁か想像もつかんね。
おそらくお父様が事業で成功する上で、
Well, you know, what's a little insider trading between friends, eh?
それに恩を感じ、その人物が黄金を与えてくれたというような言い方をしたと考えるのが自然です。そうと考えれば、その後も信仰があったのは当然でしょう。それはおそらく愛人というただれた関係ではなく、後宮家の危機を救った恩人としてに違いありません。
Alright, so instead of like, you know, physically cheating, he was just emotionally cheating on his wife.
夏希さんの言うのも一理あるかもわからんな。だが仮にそうでも隠し屋敷を作って住まわせるってのはちょっと行き過ぎた話やろな。
Nothing's too far for BFFs.
恩だけでは測れん感情があったんとちゃうか。
まあ全ては憶測だ。第一。
All just a
その
theory.
隠し屋敷は
A game theory.
兄貴はこの島をリゾート開発する気なんだろう。その際にひょっこり見つかるかもしれ
You
ない。
know, doing a little redevelopment out there, you might find just a random old hut.
案外そこに黄金もあったりするかもね。
お前は六軒島を宝島か何かだとでも思っているのかね。
とぼけないでよ。兄さんがリゾート開発と称して島の全域調査を計上しようとしてたのを知ってるのよ。例のトラブルのごたごたでできなくなっちゃったそうだけどね。
なんだか知らんが誤解だな。島の調査はリゾート化の第一段階として。
I mean, yeah, you know, gotta get a full survey done. Kraus tried to play dumb, but it was plainly obvious to his siblings, who knew him so well. Kraus was definitely sure of the existence of a hidden mansion. And under the pretense of opening a resort, he had been investigating the island in detail, searching for a clue as to the location of the hidden gold. He couldn't tell whether that conviction was just him overthinking things, or whether it was based on some physical proof. However, if Kraus, with all his guile, was convinced, then the other siblings were similarly convinced that there must be a significant basis for it.
森に魔女が住んでるっちゅうのはそのまんまおとぎ話やが。
Which is why it's such a good cover, no one would believe it.
森の中に誰も知らない屋敷があって、金髪の姉ちゃんがひっそり隠れ住んどるっちゅうのも十分。
Yeah, how'd she get her groceries?
そうね。シチュエーションだけだったらまるで童話か何かみたいね。ローザ、そういうの好きでしょ。
Yeah, snap, snap. Pay attention, Rosa. Quit fucking staring off into space. You're starting to look in two different directions at the same time.
親父殿の特に全盛期だ。金に物を言わせてどんな妄想も実現しただろう。森の中にひっそり佇む魔女の屋敷。
Not outside the realm of possibility.
シチュエーションだ。
だな。オカルトチックというか、メルヘンチックというか、親父の趣味って気がするぜ。
On this island, which the Ushirmia family had lived on for 30 years now, a hidden mansion that no one knew about had been quietly built, and within, there lived a witch only known by her portrait. Even this hard-to-believe story might not be so completely delusional considering all of Kinzo's strange habits and his vast wealth.
お父さんがそういう夢を思い描いて隠し屋敷を建てることは不可能じゃないかもしれない。でも現実的な話、その隠し屋敷に
Yeah, you know, in theory it works, but how does it, you know,
何十年にもわたって住まわせることなんて
what's the execution on that? You know, how does it support itself?
さあ、
愛さえあれば可能なんじゃ
building's
ない
got to be maintained.
愛する女性が健やかに過ごせるような設備よ。それもお父さんなりのね。それはたとえ規模が小さかったとしても、趣向を凝らした快適な邸宅に違いない。そしてそれを維持するには、電気、ガス、水道、あるいは身の回りの世話に人間も必要かもしれない。食事の世話だって大変でしょうね。
Mm-hmm.
衣服や化粧品、日用品。女の身の回りは簡単じゃないわ。それだけのものを家人にも使用人にも悟らせずに維持することって可能なのかし
Maybe
ら
there's just like a hidden dock on the backside that no one sees any boats going to.
そこまで言われると確かに弱いな。だがそれでも親父ならやってのけるかもしれんという気持ちは残る。何しろ
Yeah.
あの親父だからな。
With enough money, you can make anything happen.
そうね。あのお父様だものね。
お父様はやり遂げることは何があってもやり遂げます。常人には難しいから無理だろうという理由はお父様に関してだけは当てはまらないでしょう。
Mm-hmm. With a certain amount of money, you can just like defy the laws of physics and reality.
親父殿に関してだけは見くびらん方がいい。親父の狂気は常人の思考では理解にも及ぶ。
Yeah, it wouldn't be madness otherwise. I wouldn't put it past the Ushurmiya Kinzo. As long as the word could accommodate his name, a considerable amount of credibility dwelled in any story, no matter how absurd. However, that didn't shake the importance of what Kyrie had said. This was different from stealthily raising a kitten in a cardboard box and keeping it a secret from your parents. Taking care of a person in secret over a period of 30 years would be an incalculably massive task.
お父さんの黄金伝説は六軒島を取得する前からや。となると、その愛人との
All the way to the
縁は
beginning.
30年以上ということになるな。ってことは今いくつなんや。下手をしたら
Like
わしらと
70?
同じかそれ以上の年齢とちゃうか。体にもボロが出る年頃のはずや。どんな屋敷か知らんが人目に触れんようなほとんど軟禁に近い生活はそう快適とは言えんやろな。
そうね。お父様が語るベアトリーチェについての話が正しいなら、当時は魅惑的な若い女性だったかも
Yeah,
し
but
れな
now
い
she's
け
an
ど
old hag.
今は私たちと同格のタフな食えない女と考えるのが妥当でしょうね。手紙の内容からもそれは容易に想像できるわ。
お前が言うか。
Yeah, it takes one to know one. Kraus laughed, as though blind to his own shortcomings. Of course, Ava was offended, but she didn't strike back.
よせよ兄貴。そして俺たちの想像が本当なら、親父の遺産問題に彼女は胸を張って参加したいはずなんだ。何しろ、お袋と違い、相思相愛だった可能性が高いからな。本人には愛人の自覚と同時に、正妻としての誇りもあるかもしれない。
それはお母様への侮辱にあたりますよ。
Yes.
ああ、すまん。だが、親父とお袋が親戚の長老たちによる政略結婚だったことは
Nothing like a good old
誰もが知
arranged
っている。
marriage.
だからこそ、親父に愛人がいてもおかしくないと確信できるわけだがな。
The family sank after the Great Kanto earthquake, and Kinzo was set up as the Ushurmiya family head against his will. However, in the beginning, he was influenced strongly by the elder relatives, who treated him like a puppet while they pulled the strings. He wasn't permitted to decide anything by himself, not even his marriage partner. And by his meeting with the Golden Witch Beatrice in those unhappy days, Kinzo's legend of the gold was quickly embellished into something dramatic. In other words, it could mean that Kinzo met with a woman he really did love. If she also knew his whole story, then even if they weren't marriage partners, it wouldn't have been odd for her to consider herself his true wife inside her heart. And now, the person registered as his true wife was already dead.
となると財産権どころか家督争いにも食い込む気満々ってことになるで。
なるほどな。この手紙の趣旨が少しだけ見えてきた。碑文の謎を解く者に家督を。そういう意味か。
仮にその愛人が後宮家に序列を得ていたとしても、その序列はお父様の血を直接引かない以上子供、つまり序列はローザより一つ下ね。とても家督争いに加われるようなレベルじゃないわ。
Yeah, God, imagine being below Rosa, of all people.
そういうことか。魔女の碑文を解けば序列に関係なく家督が告げる。つまり全く可能性のないベアトリーチェにとって最も有利な条件ってわけだ。
Alright, knock everyone down to, the same playing field. The revival of the Ushirmiya family had been made possible by the gold Beatrice had bestowed. In other words, the credit belonged to her. She had built that wealth together with Kinzo, so it was natural that she would have thought of herself as the one who should inherit it. It would also be natural for her to despise the thought of giving a single cent to the children of the wife Kinzo had never loved.
ずうずうしいにも程があります。仮に愛人が実在したとしても当主継承権を争うなど身の程をわきまえぬ暴挙です。なんという身の程知らず。
Natsuhi turned red, her fist quivering. There was also complicated circumstances behind her entry into the Ushirmiya register. Those who knew that understood more or less why she's so angry for the sake of Kinzo's dead wife.
まあ、その暴挙のおかげで私たちにも公平にチャンスがあるわけなんだけどね。それにお父様は
Yeah, no point looking a gift horse in the
黙
mouth.
認されている。後宮家を継ぐのは愛人ベアトリーチェか、愛はなくとも血を受け継ぐ私たちか。それを争わせて確かめたいというのでしょうね。
As Ava giggled roguishly, Kraus shrugged his shoulders and looked away.
でもその条件を向こうが出してきたということは、向こうは十分な勝算があるということじゃないのかしら。
それもそうや。第一、ベアトリーチェはあの手紙の文面通りならお父さんの顧問錬金術師、つまり黄金の管理者や。その隠し場所を知っていても何の不思議もないやないか。こらひどい話やで。
Yeah, it's like if you don't manage to get it, it just falls right into my lap. I get all claims to it.
答えを知っている謎々を出してきたも同じや。これでシャーシャーと現れて、これが答えや、家督はいただきやでなんて言われたら、わしらすべてかっぱらわれちまうわ。
I mean, you're right, she's gonna snatch everything away from you.
そうね。
But you underestimate what everything means.
謎々の出題者は常に正解を知っているものよ。これは私たちから全てを奪うために作られた罠の可能性が高いわ。
How so?
そこまで考えると、そもそも彼女が本当に黄金を持っているかどうかは怪しいと思わんかね。なぜ我々にその存在を
Yeah, why not just abscond with it?
黙って着服すればよいもの。
Otherwise, just to put all you fucking children in your place.
確かにおかしな話だ。
Indeed, it was just as they said. If the epitaph showed the way to where the gold was hidden, why would she challenge them to try to solve it? If they actually did solve it, wouldn't the gold all be stolen? Could it be that this person was trying to stir the siblings up so that they tried to solve the epitaph, and would then snatch it up before they did solve it? That was a very reasonable guess.
いいえ、チェス盤をひっくり返して考
There
え
we
れ
go.
ば、
Take a drink.
黄金を実際に持っている可能性は低くないかもしれない。
どうしてそんなことが断言できるのよ。
待て姉貴。キリエ。
Yeah, let her talk.
続きを話してくれ。どうして
She's smarter than you.
だって私たちは魔女の碑文なんていう謎々の答えを教えられたくらいで、 本気で後宮家の家督を明け渡す気？
You need some, some, collateral's not the right word to use here, but, something to back you up.
謎々の答えに感服して降参を？
そらまあ、それもそうやな。謎々の答えを教えられたくらいで、わしらがあっさり降参して、家督をはいどうぞと渡すかっちゅうたら、そら甘い話やな。
当然です。後宮家の家督をそんな程度のことで譲ることがあるわけがない。
そういうことよ。いくらベアトリーチェが一方的にこんなゲームを提案しても、そして私たちは家督を素直に譲るわけがない。
obviously.
つまり私たちがこのゲームに対等な条件で挑まなくてはならないという強制力がない限り、このゲームは成立しないのよ。
No, she's fucking gatekeeping the gold.
負けた時、家督を譲ることに強制力を持たせなきゃ。
その強制力というのはどういう意味だね。我々を鎖で縛って家督を譲るよう脅迫でもしようという。
You're not so far off.
なるほどね。わかったわ。私たちが喜んで家督を放棄したくなるようにすればいいわけね。なるほど。ならば確かにベアトリーチェは10トンの黄金を持っていなければならない。
そうか。
Hold her hostage.
わしにも分かったで。つまり取引っちゅうわけやな。
どういう意味ですか？取引？何を？
後宮家の家督と
Yep.
隠し黄金を。
I get the title, you get the gold.
ベアトリーチェはきっと10トンの黄金の所在を明かし、それで後宮家の家督を買収するつもりなのよ。
バカバカしい。栄光ある後宮家の家督をお金でやり取りしようというのですか？冒涜です。後宮家への冒涜です。
怒らずに聞いて。その栄光ある後宮家には今どの程度の財産があるの？私たちはそんなにも裕福なの？
Are we talking like
裕
liquid
福の定義
assets
とは
or
財産で決まるのではありません。心の持ちようで決まります。私たちの財産状況が一体何の
it matters a lot? Kraus interrupted Natsuhi as she started to go on emotionally. In this situation, the more she went on and on emotionally, the worse it would actually sound for them.
私はともかくお前たちの状況は芳しくないと聞いている。
あらそう。兄さんの財政状況だって、
Yeah.
相当に芳しくないと聞いているわよ。次々担保に入れて新しい博打の掛け金にして負けを認めないために次々新しい博打に手を出して。
Hey man, just gotta win big this next time and all the losses will go away.
内情の話をしたらこの中で兄さんほど火の車の人間は存在しないわ。どれだけ損失を出してんのよ兄さんは。才能ないのよ。
Hey, it's not lost, it's just invested. Just gotta wait on the return.
誰の才能がないというの
No,
ですか？
gotta spend money to make money there, Ava.
言うにこと書き、火の車とは。
Natsuhi became indignant once again, but Kraus raised his hand again and interrupted her.
多少の誤解があるようだ。ビジネスは経過で判断できるものではない。私のような長期的視野でのビジネスともなると、時に短い単位
Yeah, just always say you're playing the long
大き
game.
な損失を出しているようにも見えるもの。
All these losses will turn around in time. You just gotta believe, Ava.
兄貴、裏は取れてるんです。今は見栄を張ってる場合じゃない。つまりキリエはこう言いたいのさ。俺たちは全員が全員金に困ってる。そしてベアトリーチは10トンの黄金を持っている。
I'm gonna pay you $100 to fuck off.
ベアトリーチェは自分だけがありかを知る10トンの黄金で私たちに家督を売らせるつもりなの。
Yep.
10トンの黄金の価値はどのくらい？
A fuck ton?
ざっと見積もって20億。
You know, this fucking 80s money.
いいえ、200億ね。 これだけを積まれたら、私たちは歓喜して彼女を次期当主に認めるわ。
I mean, I'll be honest, I would fucking drag my family name through the fucking mud for that much money. But, well, you know, the rest of my family's already done that enough for me. Not my direct family, but, extended. The scene returned to silence. Even the rain and the wind sounded louder. That was probably also the sound of the windstorm that disturbed the insides of their minds.
冗談じゃないわよ。多少お金を積まれたくらいで、どこの馬の骨とも知れない女に家督を譲るなんて。
アホ抜かせ。
Some mongrel.
もともとお前に家督なんぞいかんやないか。
Yeah, fucking, what, you gonna turn out free money?
わしらは何も失わずに。
You weren't gonna get anything anyway.
話やで。そら、
Might as well just fucking take the cash and scram.
聞くに値する話や。
They knew that much of the Ushiromiya family's asset had been eaten up by Kraus. The dregs that remained of that inheritance versus the compensation for being accepted as the head that Beatrice would pay. It was a shame, but honestly, the former was less enticing than the latter.
まあ、4等分とはならねえだろうな。次期当主を降りることになる兄貴に取り分が多くなるのはやむを得ねえだろうよ。羨ましい話だぜ。
あなた。
Well, you know, he gets like a third and then you gotta divvy up the rest.
金額の問題じゃないでしょ。不甲斐ない弟たちはお金で後宮家の栄光を売り払うつもりなのですよ。ここで長男の威厳
Well,
を
your
示さ
fucking
せて
glorious
何
family
とする
name
の
won't
です。
mean anything when you're living in Section 8 housing and using fucking food stamps.
夏希、
Because all his investments crashed and burned.
しばらく黙っていなさい。
あなた。
Not that there's anything wrong with that, just, you know, from their perspective, she would probably fucking kill herself.
俺たちは兄貴から2億半
For the
ずつ引っ
shame
張ろ
it
うと思
brings
う。
upon the name.
もし魔女様が俺たちに10トンのうちの1割も弾んでくれたなら。
Yeah, that more than enough compensates you.
20億ね。
ああ
Thanks.
俺たちは当初の見積もりの10倍も弾まれちまうことになる。
Alright, United Front, let's go.
そんだけあれば俺たちは十分だぜ。どうせ後ろ宮なんて名前に未練はねえんだ。
Yeah, this family fucking sucks.
喜んで売っ払ってやら。
10トンすべてを提供してくれるかはさすがに川山用だとしても、なるほど。
Only thing this name is good for is for getting loans from the bank.
私たちはベアトリーチェなどというよそ者を弾き出すために兄弟同盟を組もうとしていた。しかし彼女の目論見がこうならば、
You're
私
playing
た
right
ち
into
兄
her
弟の
hands.
団結はバラバラにされるわ。ええ、今こそはっきり断言できる。ベアトリーチェの手紙の目的は、私たちの結束をかき乱すことなのよ。
Every man for themselves. The three younger siblings, who were never going to have any connection with the succession, never going to have any connection with the succession of the headship in the first place, were paid enough money to satisfy them. They would happily accept Beatrice as the next head. So every obstacle to her headship would be removed except for Kraus. In that case, the negotiations would be one-on-one between her and Kraus. He tried to look strong, but Kraus's financial and political situation was extremely weak. He didn't bluff in front of it. I mean, he did bluff in front of his siblings, but on the inside, he was probably thinking that it might be alright to enter negotiations depending on the sum of money involved. In order to bury his losses, Kraus had taken advantage of the fact that Kinzo had shut himself up in his room and had embezzled Kinzo's personal assets. Therefore, when Kinzo died and the inheritance was distributed, Kraus would be held to account for that. Yeah, there would be some missing money that the book says should be here. I wonder what happened to that, Kraus. But if he gave up his seat as the head to Beatrice, she would also receive the rights to the assets, and as a result, the distribution of the inheritance to the siblings would not occur. In other words, Kraus's embezzlement might not have to be made known to the other siblings. Of course, the other siblings were frightened of Kinzo, but it was doubtful whether they still actually respected him as a father. No. By this time, they each had their own families, their own wealth, and their own lives. If they were paid enough money in exchange for Rokenjima, the wretched remains of Kinzo's dreams, there was a significant possibility that they would relinquish the Ushiromiya family name. In other words, Beatrice's victory was already guaranteed in this game. Not as the winner of Beatrice's game, but as the winner of Kinzo's game. Kinzo had put up the epitaph, and to this day, no one had been able to solve it. So Beatrice had solved it. In other words, this is less of a game and more of Beatrice's declaration of victory. However, Kyrie still felt something was slightly out of place. If this was a declaration of victory, Beatrice would only have to display the gold openly and state that she would buy the family headship. And yet, even at this late stage, she was explicitly telling the siblings to try to solve the epitaph. Why had she set up this new game where she agreed to hand over all the gold and the right to succeed the head to the person who solved the epitaph? Kyrie tried flipping over the chessboard several times, searching for the best strategy that might have guided Beatrice to this line of thinking. In the end, she reached a single conclusion. Just to show how superior she is. Yeah.
あるいは遊び？何の話？魔女は碑文を解いてみろと私たちに挑戦状を送ったわ。どうせ解けないだろうと高をくくってるでしょうけどね。でも
Just doubling down as proof that, she deserves it because, you're all fucking dumb and couldn't solve it yourselves, and only me, the brilliant mind, Beatrice, could possibly have solved this. Which means I am the one who deserves to get everything.
何しろ、ここにはお父さんの血を引く子供が4人もいるのよ。出題者の血縁者が4人も揃い、財産を奪われまいと死に物狂いで知恵を出し合ったなら、偶然にも謎が解けてしまうこともあるかもしれない。
The reason the witch had a superior position on the negotiations compared to the siblings was only that she knew the location of the hidden gold. But if that hiding place was exposed to someone other than her, the witch's superior position would crumble.
つまり、魔女の手紙に書かれている挑発文は、ベアトリーチェにとってリスクにしかならないのよ。確かに、兄弟の連帯を分断するという効果はあったけれど、それを狙うためだけに、
Yeah, that's secondary.
わずかとはいえこの
She
よ
just
うな
wants
リ
to
スク
fucking rub it in your face, how much superior she is to you.
私は不用心だと思う。でもね、ある種の感情を念頭に置いたとき、それが
Yes.
おごりだというの？ええ、そうよ。圧倒的な優位に立つと、人はおごるわ。すると敗者に対し、その優位性をひけらかすために、微小なリスクをわざと背負うことがある。適度なリスクは、勝利の喜びを引き立たせるスパイスだもん。
Yep.
リスクなき勝利
Your
ほど
tears make her
退屈な
victory
ものはない。
all the sweeter.
わかるわ。私もそういうの好きだ。
Yeah. Two little peas in a pod, you are.
よくわかるわ。
No, you're not as bad as Beatrice, but you have some personality issues.
実はこれが真実かもしれない。あの手紙の裏に潜む感情はおごりなのよ。おごり。難解な碑文がお前たちに解けるものかと私たちを見下して威張り散らしたいのよ。案外ひょっとすると碑文はお父さんじゃなく彼女が作ったのかもしれないのね。
Alright, makes sense.
上等じゃないの。碑文の謎が解ける。
That she always had the gold.
もしも解いたなら私を当主にしてくれるのね。
Again, weird that past Rosa, I say, suspiciously, has blue eyes compared to her now more like very kind of grayish purple eyes.
解いてやる。魔女の挑戦を受けてやるわ。他の間抜けな兄弟たちに解けるものか。私一人が解いて、私こそが後宮家を引き継ぐにふさわしいということを証明してやるわ。その挑戦、私が
Of course you
謎
will.
を解いてやる。
Rally your troops, Ava. You're the quote-unquote main character, except for Battler this time around. But with that, that is a good place to stop for today. That was a very long scene. Oh my god. Woo, that was a long one, but, we will continue all next time to see how the aftermath of this little conference they had plays out. So, once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you all next time for the next episode of Umineko, where we will return to the fucking game dimension, I guess, and they'll talk about it from their omniscient position. And Beatrice will berate Battler and say his name really drawn out and look so smug and superior at him. Catch you guys all later. Bye. Mwah.